Tonight, a preschool worker and a counselor who once worked for the Rape Crisis Center are among several people busted in a disturbing undercover sting operation. Police in Jackson Township posed as kids online.
Yeah, the officers say even they were surprised by how many men drove to the township thinking they were about to have sex with children. Bob Jones live in Jackson Township with details on how all of this went down. Bob.
Well, Frank, police are calling this operational, it's a 4-day sting, which they are actually calling Operation Unsportsmanlike Conduct. And they say this is an example of why children need to be so careful online and why parents need to really pay attention to what their children are doing online. The police chief stressed that you never know who's capable of exploiting a child, regardless of his profession.
A telecommunications specialist, a realtor, a field manager for GM, a licensed counselor, and a preschool worker among the 14 men who police say thought they were meeting kids for sex, but instead were arrested as part of a sting.
To me, it's devastating for our children, what is out there.
Jerry Ragsdale, a preschool employee at the YWCA in Canton, is one of the suspects. The CEO tells News 5 Ragsdale is now on unpaid leave, and the YWCA has contacted parents who had direct contact with him.
I think it tells us that it could be, these offenders could be anybody that has access to today's technology that may end up communicating with children.
Adam Ledke, the counselor who worked for the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center between 2017 and 2018, also busted in the operation.
They were going to come meet those children for sex. There was no doubt about what they were there for.
The officers posed as boys or girls between 12 and 15 and used apps to communicate with the men online. Police say all of them solicited the undercover officers for sex and arranged for meetings at an undisclosed location in Jackson Township. But instead of meeting kids, they were arrested on felony charges.
That's the real concerning part for us here, is that if they're not talking to us as undercover officers, potentially they're engaging with real children.
The Jackson Township chief feels it's important for law enforcement to continue conducting stings like Operation Unsportsmanlike Conduct to protect children, and the FBI agrees.
We can cast the net at any time, and we always have child predators bite. They're always trolling on the internet.
FBI spokesperson Vicki Anderson says the case is further proof that kids need to be careful online, and parents must know what their children are doing.
We need to review those things of what a kid's posting. We need to know who they're chatting to. We need to have that conversation with kids of, you don't give out personal information.
If convicted, the men captured in the sting could get jail or prison time and something else.
The primary, I think, focus that we look at is that the penalty on all of the charges is that they become registered sex offenders. And that is probably what is most important.
Police say they do have video of the arrest, but that is not being released at this time. And we reached out to that preschool employee who told us he has a lot to say, but he was advised by his attorney to not make any comments. And in a statement from the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center, who once employed one of the suspects, they said sexual violence is inexcusable wherever or whenever it happens. Live in Jackson Township, Bob Jones, News 5.